Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Glimmer Gang podcast. This week, we are joined by two special guests from the LorcanaCast to talk about all things competitive TCGs. This is going to be a two-part episode, so there will be a little cut at the end, but without a doubt, everyone, take it away. Okay, so I want to welcome everyone to episode 13 of the Glimmer Gang podcast. We are joined today by Sugi and Skeff from the LorcanaCast. How are you guys doing today?
All good.
Phenomenal. Thank you for asking.
Awesome. Well, do you guys want to introduce your podcast and what you guys do over there? Because it is an amazing podcast and I love listening to it. I know a lot of people do. But what is the LorcanaCast and how did it come to be?
We are a professional Pokemon trading card game company fan. We play Flesh and Blood, Netrunner, Vampire. No, not that. Okay, Skeff is giving me the no. That's not the right company. Okay, so we talk about Disney Lorcana. It's a trading card game that's coming out relatively soon. At least we think so, because Ravensburger won't tell us anything else. But we like to talk about Lorcana in both the casual and competitive sense. Our team is really old. If you put us all together, we'd probably be most people's parents. But we've been playing and judging and actually designing games over probably, 20, 30 years. So we've got a lot of experience both on the player side and on the development side. So it's a really fun group of people because we get to talk from different perspectives and just kind of enjoy the ride for Lorcana, because it's always unique seeing a trading card game get announced, or even any game, and then going through those motions of, like announcing it, birthing it, experiencing it, watching it grow. And so that's the idea, is we're here to just have fun and help people out along the way.
Awesome. Well, we over here are a competitive-based podcast, so we wanted to bring you guys on and talk a little competitive TCG in general, because you guys have had a lot of experience, but also then talk just competitive Lorcana. So I have a series of questions for everyone. And for the first question, we are going to take a look at... So we just found out, obviously, that we're not going to have any real competitive tournaments for the first year. So what is everyone's reaction to that, and what do you guys think of all that?
Wait. I want to amend that statement. It's first party competitive tournaments.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because there are already third parties that have announced.
Yep.
Like PPG.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's going to be grassroots. I mean, I've even talked to
Miami
Miami
TCG convention is planning on running events as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
You'll see them everywhere.
So non-official Ravensburger. Third parties there's like 3 or 4 I can think of already off the bat.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So I just want to amend that, because I know there's people watching like, well, wait a minute, that's not true quite yet. It's like half true. But we're not voting for anyone here, so we can tell half truths, I think.
So yeah, with the no official Lorcana Ravensburger ran events, what do you guys think of that? And do you think it's an approach to help people create communities quickly and help grow those communities, or what do you guys think about all that?
I just don't think they have the bandwidth yet.
I also think it's a great opportunity for Ravensburger to view, because they've never run anything like this in their life. They're going to see how other third parties run it and maybe start taking tips and tricks from them. Like, okay, that didn't work. They hated this. They liked that. So that lets everyone kind of oh, let's see where everyone else messes up, and then just take all the good ideas.
It's one of the safest bubbles you could possibly have.
Yeah.
Because like Skeff is saying, you can have other people do the work for you. I don't think that's the intent. I believe sincerely that they're just too small of a company right now to handle the bandwidth.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're struggling, and I use that word loosely, but if they're working their butts off and still having problems with allocation, there's no way they could possibly have any kind of competitive scene in their wheelhouse right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm okay with that, because I'd rather Ravensburger do it well than do it half-hearted, because that would suck for the community if they're like, we have it, and then we go and they're like, oh, this is really rough. So I'd rather them take their time, because like I said, we've already got third parties who are saying, hey, we're going to do these events right here. I don't care for money events, because usually that brings the worst people out, so not interested in those things.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of a good bridge between, hey, let's see what a competitive scene looks like, as well as let's give Ravensburger a break to kind of get their feet onto the ground, get set and ready to run in 2024. Also, without a competitive scene, the cards are practically worthless, which is bad. So we do need some kind of competitive scene.
I think it'll be super. I think they'll super valuable regardless of the competitive scene within that first year.
No, because if there's no meta, then all your super rares are like, which one's the meta? Like, oh, like come on, there's got to be a value based on something.
I feel the cream will rise to the top on certain cards versus other ones, just from like a pull rate perspective or what everyone starts playing. That's just my 2 cents.
But if there's no event to showcase that, then it's every card is worth a different value in a different region in a different city, and that's awkward.
It is.
I also think like those prices could be changed due to collectors. I feel like if there is no competitive, like official competitive play, prices could be like skewed by collectors, because like a bad like Mickey Brave Little Tailor, I don't think we'll see that much play, but it's a Mickey card, so collectors will want it more, with it being a rare, or isn't super rare? What is it? Legendary. There you go.
It's the same aspect of like Pokemon.
Yeah.
Yeah, where Pokemon cards are super valuable, but are they playable? Some of them, most of them are unplayable.
No, like you look at like
Charizard. Look at Pokemon right now, like all of the full arts are like $4. Like even the regular cards are worth like less than $1.
You look at like a regular Charizard card, all those cards will go for hundreds of dollars, like those secret rares, but they're not playable. No Charizard has really been playable since the game came out.
Oh wait! Oh no! Skeff will back me up on this. Reshizard, that was a hot Charizard.
Yeah, okay.
That defined
he was like in middle school, Sugi. We're talking like 2012.
Charizard. Okay, I can think of like 2 Charizards that were like meta defining. At least
a while ago, mate.
I personally love that we're gonna have to wait the year. Like Sugi said, it's going to give Ravensburger that time they need to really refine their game plan. They're just getting their legs under them. They really, obviously, from the printing issues and the allocations, they didn't know the monster that they were creating. So this is going to give them that time that they need to really work the kinks out and give us a really refined product. Like Sugi said, they're going to watch all these third-party tournaments, and it also has that probably unintended effect of allowing us to build a more casual community and bring those net new players in instead of it being sweaty right out of the gate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the big things is that that extra year is going to give them time for them to focus on building up those local communities and providing that support we need in order to get the ground running, rather than splitting their focus between high level competitive plays and dealing with all the logistics and everything that comes with that, and supporting the LGSs and the local communities growing and developing as well. So being able to have that buffer time, that year of being able to just hone in and get the grassroots, the foundation built, I think is really important, and I'm totally fine with them making that decision.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the whole counter. I know there have been some sentiments of, there's no first-party tournament, so they're just not going to support this game. It's like, no, their support is focused elsewhere right now. They need to build this up first. The organized play. Yeah, exactly. If you're not going to have organized play, no one's going to come to it. And they are doing organized play. It's just not competitive tournaments.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I would be very happy to just spend a year learning the game and helping other people learn the game. That sounds like a fun year to me before we get crazy into it.
I guess this is a question for all of you guys more, because I wasn't around back then. But when Pokemon and Magic like first released, how was that? Like, did they wait a bit? Like, I'm actually like,
we're gonna timestamp ourselves.
Like,
what does Robert Downey Jr. say? Always talking about Tom Holland. It's like I didn't carbon date him.
Well,
remember the movie where the big walking thing got tripped up on the ropes?
They were like that ice planet. Yeah, the movie was great, guys.
Where'd you find this kid, Downey?
The problem with that question is that was 25, 30 years ago.
That is true.
And it doesn't
we were
matter.
children.
Yeah, it doesn't.
I didn't have a beard.
That, but the
I hope
entire,
he didn't have a beard.
scene, the world, everything is different now.
It's a different monster now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so like, it doesn't matter what they did 25, 30 years ago. It matters what is expected of them now.
Yeah.
Well,
And-
here's for that question.
Well.
Sugi,
Okay.
here's one for like. Remember when Star Wars Destiny came out? Like that was a brand new game that had tournament play like almost within that first year. Imperial Assault, like there have been games that have come out that had like organized play competitively within their first year. That Sugi and I both have played a lot.
Yep.
So like they have done it before, and whether it's going to be a positive advantage to do it, I feel that taking that time is better for the game itself.
Mhm.
At the end of the day, if the game is good, then we'll have organized play that'll enhance it. As of right now, the game just needs to be good, and they need to continue. And also having an entire rotation of like 4 sets before they officially start their OP probably isn't a bad idea.
Deck diversity will be a lot better in that case.
Yeah, it depends on the game, because if you look at like a Bandai system, like One Piece came out the bat running with organized play. BSS has organized play. Digimon had organized play.
Yeah.
But they've all had like their companies though. Their mother companies all had experience in that category, right?
Right.
Well, I guess the question, the
argument,
for the most part right now in the community overall is should Lorcana have first-party support for organized play? Because it's not built through the parameter of what are other people doing. It's just a generic question of should they, shouldn't they. So the argument is made on both ends that some companies are doing it because like One Piece is brand new, BSS is even newer, Digimon is new-ish, but these are games that have done it. You look at older games like Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, they did not, but they did very well. You look at, I mean, there's other trading card games that are from other companies, like, you know, Star Wars Destiny, you mentioned with FFG. They had that tournament seemed like what, 6 months, 6 to 9. So it was within the first year, but not right off the bat. So I think really it boils down to, are you a player of competitive nature or are you a player for casual nature? Because as a competitive player, I don't like it. As a player who just wants to play Lorcana and have fun, I'm totally fine with it. So each person kind of has to judge for themselves where they're on that spectrum, because the answer to that question varies based on where you are on that range. So I don't think it's right or it's wrong. It's just some people like it, some people won't like it. But the reality is it doesn't change anything, because Ravensburger, as far as we know, because unfortunately it's not an official announcement. That's the one thing we have to remember, is this is coming from a group of people who were at a Ravensburger thing, and they're telling us what they heard. So until Ravensburger actually comes out and says it, I'm just waiting, because there's a possibility there could be an adjustment. There could be a possibility that maybe someone said something out of line, or maybe they didn't quite clarify what the actuality of tournament scene, first party tournament scene is, because we don't know. And Ravensburger hasn't actually said in any capacity, hey, we're not actually doing this. So I'm anxious to see if maybe it's a little bit closer than a year off, but we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, sure. And like at Gamma, Ryan specifically mentioned large events.
He did.
And so that has me in kind of a where you are, like, wait and see type of thing. Like they could have large events that aren't competitively focused, which is another thing. And once again, that would be organized play. Just jumping on this because it's been a whole thing in the Discord. Is, you know, a lot of people use the term organized play just to specifically talk about these large scale events, but it's an umbrella term that means more than that. So, you know, there are options for them to have organized play. They already have organized play at the local level. Beyond local level is what we're talking about. We don't know what is going to come in that sense. From what we've been told, is it's not going to be competitively focused until after the first year. Doesn't mean that there's not going to be other events. So,
and Lorcana memes in chat's asking what's the difference between OP and tournament play. So essentially, OP, organized play, you go to a local store, you do whatever they say you do, you get points, and you get prize support. So it's generally very casual, not competitive. Generally, depends on the game. Bandai, very competitive, but for Lorcana, it's going to be very casual. Tournaments, you're basically signing up. Generally, you're paying a fee, with an expectation of if you go and perform very well, there will be excellent prize support. So there'll be either like a cash payout, prize payout for like booster packs, or I mean, some places do crazy things like Pokemon here in Missouri. They just had a Pokemon Cup, and the winner took home a PS5 plus booster packs. So they pulled people in from Oklahoma, Texas, Arkansas, because it's like, I think it was a $15 entry for a chance to walk home with the PS5. Like, I mean, why not?
Mm-hmm.
And even if you were in the top 8, I think you got either a quarter or half a booster box. So the payout was pretty good. That a ton of people.
Yeah.
So generally, OP is free. Casual tournaments are pay in, get some kind of prize support.
Something also with tournaments is you will most likely get 1 or 2 packs for entering, which it's not like it's very rare to pull stuff from that, but like if you do get 1 or 2 packs, it's 1 or 2 packs, and it's still fun to open those and see what
participation promos are pretty common, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
too.
that too.
Promos,
Yeah.
depending on the game, playmats too. Like Pokemon, those are fun.
Magic does lots with playmats
Magic
too.
does playmats. Doesn't Fab do playmats for like top tips?
I'm not sure about Fab.
Pretty sure Fab does.
Yeah. And sometimes there's like different tiers that you can buy, like different levels of tickets you can buy. Like one ticket might only get you X prizes, and then the higher level ticket might get you more promos and a playmat. Like I know that's how
Packages,
some of the stuff with My Hero works, and so
Digimon's similar, I believe.
Yeah.
That's
one of the things.
You can go.
I was just gonna say, like, that's one of the things with like tournaments is there's a spectrum of like door prize heavy, and then there's the
top end heavy.
Top end heavy. And so I imagine Lorcana is going to end up on the door prize heavy side of things.
Pokemon.
Yeah. Versus the top end work. So what we mean by that is like door prize heavy means like there's a lot of stuff you get just for showing up and competing and playing. So you may get through your first 3 rounds, you qualify for your participation prizes, and like we said, that's usually a couple of packs, some promos, and then
special sleeves sometimes, stuff like that.
Sleeves, mats, deck boxes, accessories,
Disney pins.
Pins, like that kind of stuff. Then top end stuff would be like that same tournament. You would pay in your $20, you'd get 3 packs as your door prize, but the number 1 person that wins walks away with $5,000. Right. So it's about how the money is distributed between the players is where the tournaments fall, and different companies do it different ways. Like BSS is very, very top end.
No joke.
And
look at you, Bandai.
My
really not top heavy though.
Yeah. My Hero has a really interesting system where there's like 2 different like categories of events, and so there's like your competitive stuff, which is your regionals, nationals, and worlds, but then there's another set that's your provisional showdowns or something like that are very, very like door prizey, and it's for getting like really cool like special art promos and mats and stuff like that. I really like the way that they have that set up to where there's still like big events that people can show up and just play and still walk away with really cool stuff that makes them happy. But then you still have the competitive events for that side of things. And I'm really hoping Lorcana takes some sort of system like that where there's events for everybody.
Yeah.
I just want them to copy Pokemon. It's both participation friendly and top heavy. So when you show up to Worlds, you get like the super limited edition Worlds playmat, the sleeves. Sometimes you get a really cool plush, and that's like exclusive to that event. But if you top out, you can walk away with multiple booster boxes and cash money. So it's like it kind of scratches the itch for everyone, because there's a lot of people who just go, get the swag, they love it, and they scrub out at X and 2. And then people like us who want to play competitively and get to the top, even if you get to like top day 2, like top 32, you're walking away with like half a booster box. That's like the worst. Like the bottom of the barrel is like half a box. Like, okay, sure, that's fine. I'm in.
Sure.
Yeah. Even on the top end of Worlds though, Pokemon is like still pretty light. Like their biggest cash prize is like 10K for Worlds number 1.
I think it's around 5 now. It's a lot lighter.
It's lower. It's lower.
But what's the thing they do if you're on the pro team? It's not sponsorship. They like fly you out. There's a term for it.
Yeah, there's like a whole point system with Pokemon, and if you get to a certain tier, you get like
you get flights and hotel.
Flights and hotel, which
I
is
cannot remember what they call it.
Basically, a scholarship is basically what it sounds like.
I think that's what it's called. It's a scholarship. So
that's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Which is why a lot of the pro players can keep playing at the high level because they're flying for free, they're bunking for free.
That's an amazing incentive program for real.
Yeah. If you're good enough, you can basically do it for free-ish.
Yeah. The only problem that I've heard, or the criticism I've heard with the Pokemon system, is that it's very much for grinders and not so much like rewarding specifically the top level players because
you got to get points. You got to get points to qualify for Worlds.
And the thing is there's no cap like sort of system, and so basically whoever can go to the most regionals is going to have the most points, which is going to get them the highest, tier and most buys and, whatever.
Yeah.
It's dependent on if your city is big enough. So like if you think about like Dallas, they'll have multiple cups. So basically to get an invite to an event to pro level, you need 300 points. If you win at a cup, you get 50 points. If you win at a regionals, I think you get 200. If you win at a nationals, I think you get the 300 right there. And that's like number one. You have to win the whole thing. If you don't win, you get a lot less than that. But like if you think about Dallas, there was a point in time, I think there were 4 cups within 2 weeks of each other. So if you won all of them, you could get 200 points like right there. And then Dallas also has a regional. So someone could easily grind that out and easily push past the 300 point minimum. And then you could travel up to like other states in the area again to get more cups and more regionals. And so, yeah, you're right. If you have the access to funds and traveling, it's easy to do. If you're stuck in a small city and you only have one and you win it, great, you have 50 points. That's like your limit. You can't go any further because there's no more OP events nearby to score points, and you don't have the time or the money to go to a regional or national to get the invite. So it's kind of unfair in that sense, depending on where you live geographically. You can have a massive advantage like LA, New York, Florida, Dallas, big cities. Lots of opportunity. Up north, you're boned. You have one, maybe 2.
I'm in Chicago, and like obviously, I have a very good local scene, but like, when was the last time you saw an event in Chicago? I would have to go to Fort Wayne. I had to go to like Milwaukee. Madison was a big one for a long time. Like, there's not a
It's really weird.
Well, Chicago isn't the most like friendly city to get to.
Yeah,
as someone who used to, I've lived in Midwest about half my life, so like Fort Wayne's easy to get to, Madison's easy to get to, Milwaukee, Indianapolis, like it's not the most friendly. Like, oh, let's drive to Chicago and not hate myself in the first 2 hours of driving.
I just got back from Chicago like 2 days ago, and as somebody that doesn't live there, the driving is horrifying.
Right, and then like there's nowhere to like park and like go to an event center. Like all the event centers are downtown, so like it's a great place for like gets up to like maybe like I don't know what's lower than a regional, but like a cities, like they're a really good spot for a lot of those. But
yeah,
it's hard. It's a hard city.
Well, Chicago's also a mini city. That's where a lot of Warhammer goes down.
Yeah, I'm looking at the World Championship qualifications, and like for Masters, which for anyone who like doesn't know Pokemon that's listening, Pokemon divides it up into juniors, seniors, and masters. So, like juniors are I don't know. It's like it's
12.
Yeah, like 12 and under.
I think it's up to 10.
It's 12,
like 10.
Yeah, it's for the youngsters.
I thought it was like double digits.
Because I think it's like 11 to 14 is juniors, and then 15 is like masters.
Well, it's junior, senior, but anyways, it's just divided into yeah. But masters, like you have, you need 350 to win to get your invite to Worlds, because you can go and play like in the invitation, or you can also go and play in the open, which anyone can play in. But like you go and you win a regional, which is 200, and then you just can go play in like league cups and league challenges and do your best there, and should be fine. That's the thing. But it's Pokemon.
Well, here's an interesting take for the group. Actually, I'm curious. Do you think Lorcana is going to have an age bracket, or is Sugi going to make like 10-year-olds cry?
Would you stop with that, you monster? I make everybody cry.
I was gonna say he's gonna make. I would anticipate he's gonna make me cry at some point. So
I do not discriminate on who I'm gonna make cry. That's you're not. Your age does not matter.
I personally do think we'll have age brackets.
Yeah, I hope we.
I hope there is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I foresee
for
something
this,
very
yes.
similar to how Pokemon does it.
Yeah.
I can't wait till Thursday 9 a.m. first round. Sean versus whatever Sugi's name is.
Yeah.
We'll do it.
No, I'm hoping Sugi gets Liam first round.
Oh.
Why can't I put that on that man?
Because I don't want it.
There's 60. There's 60
I was gonna say
other players,
to be
man.
fair,
There's 60 other
it's like
drops.
it's a 1 in 32 chance. So
It's not high.
yeah,
It's the top tables you gotta be worried about.
it's true.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we're gonna start clashing.
It's that third round, yeah.
So when are all of our things? What time are all of our things at?
Thursday 9 a.m.
On Thursday morning, first one.
Yeah.
You got one? You got a Thursday spot?
I did. Yep.
Yeah.
I got
Saturday.
Friday.
We're part of the guinea pig group.
I'm
Saturday
Friday.
morning.
Yeah.
Friday at 2 p.m.
I'm Friday 10 a.m.
Thursday should be the easiest bracket theoretically.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping for.
It's either the easiest or the hardest. And that's the big question. It'll depend on who's there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. I think we might luck out since a lot of people are going to be lining up at that time. So,
well, everyone's also not necessarily going to be at Gen Con Thursday either. Saturday will be the hardest day.
Oh, absolutely. I agree completely.
Whoops. Thursday's going to be interesting because even though it's sold out, I don't actually know if everyone's going to show because I know multiple people bought multiple tickets. So theoretically, by math, a couple X and O's could bubble in because right now you have to go undefeated to get in, and then there will be one X and O.
I'm sure there'll be humans just waiting outside of the hallway. Like,
They
did
will
anyone not show up?
Yeah.
Anybody? Tickets?
Yeah, it'll happen. Keep your eyes out anybody that didn't get a ticket.
I will be one of those people.
Yeah.
I am buying generic tickets and the
Oh.
and Saturday.
I recommend pocketing a couple.
Yeah, 100%.
Yes.
Okay. So moving on to the next. Oh, I went too far. Okay, I got it.
Thursday will be fun. We get to sleep in. Thank God.
Skeff, Cabled, and Brandon are all in the Friday afternoon one.
Oh, have fun with that. That's a bracket.
Yeah. Have fun, boys.
Get to dodge that, but yeah, we get to wake up early, get the first one.
Yep.
But that
I'm
also
really
means
thankful for that too.
We get to see cards before anybody else because y'all have to wait an hour to get into that demo hall, and we get to touch them. Yeah.
I'm thankful for that, and I'm also thankful that we get the tournament out of the way, and I get to enjoy the rest of my time without stressing about going to this tournament and doing well. Get to get it out of the way, and we get to go.
Either we make it or we don't, and then boom, we get to have fun. Y'all get to stress about Friday.
No, let's be honest. If y'all don't make top 8, y'all are going to be in the line with the general tickets with the rest of us.
No.
Yes. Sean,
no.
I might try for one more, but we'll see.
I've got too many other things to do now.
I only have a couple other things planned, so I do have enough open time to do some other stuff. I'm gonna play in a Transformers TCG event just because I love that game and miss it so very much.
They still have that?
It's not like officially; it's a third-party event.
Okay,
yeah, it's a
I was like,
third-party
that game
event.
died like 3
It
years ago.
It did, sadly, but I'm getting to go play, and I met somebody through the community that's going to hook me up with a deck because I stopped collecting before the last set came out, and I can't find my cards. So,
gross. That game was fun. That was a lot of fun.
I did play that game for a bit. That was a fun game.
Yeah, lots of fun.
And then Hasbro.
Yeah, and then Hasbro did Hasbro things.
Hasbro done Hasbro. Yeah.
Okay. So our next question is.
Mine's at Friday 8 p.m. by the way.
Oh, Friday.
Oh, you're playing a late. Isn't that a 4-hour tournament too?
I think it's Friday 10 p.m.
8 to midnight.
10 a.m.
Good.
Maybe no one will be there.
Oh wait,
Man.
Friday.
No, there are gonna be a ton of
I'll
people
be
there,
there.
homie.
Oh, Friday 8 p.m. You're 8 p.m. Holy cow, that is
Yeah,
late.
8 p.m. midnight. Boy, you guys.
Oh my god.
I would hate to play a late night event. I'm gonna be so tired. I'd play
that last night event, that one's gonna be rough, dude.
Man, dang.
You guys better go and get a nap in or something. You're muted, Skeff.
Gross. Oh, and
always
then Traverse Tavern guys are saying they're also in that Friday night. Yeah, Friday night sounds pretty stacked. Y'all have fun with that.
Yeah,
mess.
it's gonna be. I will gladly be there watching you guys, but yeah, have fun.
Nah, I got other things too. You're on your own.
Okay, so our next question is, where would you want to see Lorcana go with comp play now that, like, I think we already kind of covered this in what we were talking about, now that I read it.
Define comp play,
like competitive play.
Compensation. Never mind.
Yeah. Does anyone have any other thoughts on this question, or I think we kind of covered it all?
I think we kind of beat that horse dead already.
Yeah. Okay, so the next one is just going like broader, because I know we have a lot of rookie TCG players. I know we have a lot of beginners. For all of us who like have been in and played in a competitive scene forever, how long we have, what is the biggest tip you guys would give to new TCG players who may be overwhelmed by all Lorcana has so far? And
are you asking for a friend?
No, just like for a tip for anyone. I got the
remember sleeves.
Just making sure.
We see Teddy pick up a marker and
remember.
Notebook. He's like,
new
guys,
or
I'm
fresh
asking for a
pants.
friend.
Fresh pants.
Yeah, if you're going to an event, always remember a fresh pack of sleeves every time.
Yes.
Wait, okay, so are we talking about like Lorcana in a tournament scene or just like in general?
Just in
TCG
general.
competitive, I think.
Yeah, just any like the competitive scene, I think, in general for Lorcana. What is like a big tip you guys would give?
Oh, a competitive scene? Count your deck twice, have someone else count it a third time. Getting disqualified because you're down a card is the worst feeling in the world. And it's like, oh, you have a 59 card deck, disqualified. Yeah. What?
Oof. Oh, here's a good one. Here's a good one. If you do buy sleeves, and this is like it's like new, like fresh, like shuffle, like play use the sleeves. Like don't buy a new set of sleeves and use them that day one because they'll fresh, they'll fumble, like unless you glossy versus the match finish, but like
that's a very good point.
Shuffle them up, get them, like work them. You know what I mean? Like work them sleeves. Like that's something I highly recommend to people.
Not so much to where they could be construed as marked, but yes.
Right.
Oh, and buy 2 boxes of the same sleeve because they will split. Yes. And if you don't have another sleeve, you also get disqualified. I've seen that happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Always have extra sleeves.
Yeah.
And you'll eventually find a sleeve brand that you like in a deck box that you like. And then I usually just avoid what? Yeah, that's probably a good call. We're not sponsored. Not sponsored. Hashtag not sponsored.
Bathe regularly and use deodorant. You're going to be in close confines with a lot of sweaty people.
Well, also be prepared too that like if you do pick obviously if you pick black sleeves, that's probably the most common sleeve type. Yep. So like make sure you know there's a way to differentiate your cards from your opponent's cards. Same thing with the deck box. Like if you have a generic like deck box, like as an adult, as a father, write your name on your deck box, children, so you know who that is.
Yes.
I gotta say it out loud because whose deck box is this one? It's Ultra Pro. It's a black deck box.
Oh yeah, don't.
Right, like.
And if you're worried about making it ugly, just write it on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or on the bottom.
Say all your boxes got flaps on the inside.
Everywhere. Yep.
Yeah.
That's a game. I'm gonna throw it out there. Gamegenic. That is a beautiful box.
It is a nice one. Gamegenic.
Yeah, I actually just bought this from my local game store yesterday. So
great
support
products.
your local game store.
Hashtag not sponsored.
Hashtag not sponsored. Yes. Hey, can we get a Dragon Shield sponsor?
I'm working on it.
I know you are.
We all know Sean is a fiend for Gamegenic.
I am. I'm super big Gamegenic fanboy.
Good stuff. Gamegenic.
The price point for quality is amazing. Katanas are great too. Yep.
You'll find everyone will find like their own style they like. Everyone will find like their own, like everyone that's your personality. Like for me, like it's always matte sleeve. I'm always a matte sleeve individual.
There we are.
But you'll find your style. You'll find your
those
type.
sleeves. Those sleeves suck.
What, dude? The Gamegenic sleeves are great.
I'm not a fan of Gamegenic sleeves. Their boxes top tier.
Fight.
Dragon Shields and Katanas top sleeves. Actually, KMC Hypermats clear.
Oh, here's an interesting one.
Those are my jam.
For people that are first like playing. If you're going to like tournaments, try to bring 2 decks with you. Try to have 2 decks built for when you're like just for your because you're like, all right, I got my one deck built, but it's always good to just build a secondary one because if you only have the one and you're there all day, you probably should just have a second one. They're small enough. Like bring 2 just in case.
You're gonna want to change it up.
Right. So always bring 2. That's what I always recommend. Because then therefore, if you want to like just play different play styles, you're like everyone gets tired of playing Mill, right, Sugi?
No.
Never.
No, I love Mill.
Yes, you. It's
everyone else's problem.
It is.
I do.
Not mine.
True.
I do see a comment here from Traverse Tavern Friends. They say, don't be afraid to net deck. Try and find a group who plays often and ask as many questions as possible as some tips.
If you don't know what net decking means, net decking means that you went on your computer, then you hooked it up into your landline, waited to murder a robot,
Not talking about your
dialed in, went to Ask Jeeves, and says Lorcana competitive deck.
That's not how this works.
That's how it used to.
That's net decking.
That's how
that used to be. That used to be
where you wait for the AOL logo to pop up on your disc, and then you
and you murdered a robot
on chat, aim chat.
Yeah.
Yes.
Asking people.
You had to wait and see if you got mail.
Yeah, you've got mail.
But net decking is basically just finding competitive decks that are posted online, which there'll be plenty of websites that'll have competitive decks with keeping track of like all that good stuff, and then you'll be able to just find a deck on there, copy and paste, and just go buy the singles from a local shop.
Sugi, we actually have a landline in my house, so I do know what that is.
That's awesome.
I wouldn't admit that in general public.
But I also have a landline. Well,
but you're old.
But it's not by choice. It's because I live in the boonies.
Boonies.
But you'll never know that sound, Teddy. It won't have seeped into your soul.
Just think of a robot getting murdered.
Instead of just imprinted on you. You can't forget it. It's just
when you were going to high school and everyone was handing you those stupid AOL CDs, and then you got home and there's like 16 of them at your desk, and you're like, I didn't take 16 of these. They're just like populating.
Somehow they multiply. If you leave them alone in a room by themselves, they will multiply.
Yeah, the AOL disc it birthed itself. It's creepy.
Oh, here's another suggestion for people new to the TCG. When you're going to like an event or whatever it is, for the love of God, don't bring your tire collection. You don't need to bring.
No.
Get yourself a binder.
That's how you get mugged.
Right. So honestly, like bring a binder, and like usually you bring 2 binders. One binder has like maybe cards to sub in, sub out. The other binder is your trade/sell binder. Yep. Keep that small. Name, you know where that one is. So like I recommend always bring a binder with cards.
Yeah.
Yes. Something like that. Trade ones.
Normally, a binders with 9 cards, double-sided. If you're gonna have a trade binder, just get the small 4-slot one.
Yeah.
Because it's harder to steal.
I recommend that though. Don't bring your whole collection.
Yeah. For the love of God, don't do that.
Yeah.
That's literally how you get mugged.
Get you one of these little buddies. Just get one of these little bad boys.
Is that from Monster?
That's good enough for trade.
Huh?
Is that from Monster?
Looks like
Ultra Pro.
Ultra Pro.
Yeah, those are just the band. Like
my 9.
I love Monster.
My 9 pocket binder is a monster.
Preferably get a binder with a zipper. I recommend a binder with a zipper on there. Zipper ones are better because nothing will fall out.
Ones? Is that folio?
That's
a good one.
Yeah, so
I like the 2 pocket.
Also, there are cool ones out there.
Not for Lorcana though, because it's gonna be best. It's gonna be 4 for play sets.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you're gonna want the 4.
Yeah. And don't get any they're cool, but I would avoid getting any. Don't travel with them, but they have binders that'll fit top loaders. Those get heavy really quick, so I would recommend not traveling with those.
If you're bringing top loaders to a tournament, you done goofed, Aaron.
Well, just for like trade or valuable cards, like I would recommend not bringing those. They're just heavy. But yeah, binders I'd recommend have 2 separate binders, one for cards sub and sub out, and cards that are actually up for trade or that you're looking to sell. That's my recommendation for like when you pack to a show, you have to be like, I got to carry this all day. What are you bringing with you? You know what I mean? Like make sure you have maybe a tube for your playmat, or get one of those smart hives that'll fit the deck box and the playmat in there.
No, not for a tournament. It's too big.
Well, if you want to bring, if someone wants to bring a playmat, whatever they want to do, right? They're just options.
The tube, but the hives are way too big for a backpack. They're just massive. They're great for locals.
Yeah, but if you want to fit everything in there, like that's options.
Here's the thing: is like TCG players are obsessed with stuff and bulk.
Yeah,
I have everything I would need for a tournament in this bag right here.
Do you have your water bottle in there?
Well, no, not a water bottle.
Brandon's about to get kicked out of his chat. Being ridiculous.
I can clip a water bottle on a carabiner right here.
Oh, okay, all right. Very cool.
Yeah, if Brandon is suggesting penny sleeves, shoot this man.
Do you just fold that playmat like a savage?
Oh my God!
It's cloth.
No! My underwear.
Hashtag Yugi life.
No,
Hashtag
okay.
Yugi life.
What a Yu-Gi-Oh play the scum of the earth.
By the way, if you're new to TCG,
Which
I'm not
also
a
warn
Yu-Gi-Oh
he
player.
cannot
Don't-
read if he's a Yu-Gi-Oh player. Don't trust
not
him.
a
don't
if he says
fold your
anything.
playmat. Don't crease.
Don't
fold.
don't
it.
fold
Also-
your playmat.
Like a
Roll it
Roll
on
unless-
ice, put it in a tube.
Unless it's
gently.
a cloth playmat. If it's a cloth playmat,
No,
you can
no.
fold.
Roll gently, lovingly. Your playmat will treat you well if you treat it well. Don't listen to this man.
Bring a pen and paper. For this game,
Yes.
you're probably gonna need it. Think of it like either a token or a life counter. Like pen and paper, always good call. That's always something that I recommend. Like
No,
those
this
are probably
is
the
going
tips
to
and
be for
tricks.
Flesh and Blood. No. You need to pen and paper it because it's
Yeah.
really easy to go. Oh, I quest for 5. I'm at 7. Yeah, okay, I guess so.
Right.
No, you
Was
at
this
6,
D20 on a
buddy.
10 or a 12?
No.
I can't remember.
Pen and paper.
Just pulling
Yeah.
out all the gear.
Get yourself a
Little
cheap pen and
dragon.
paper.
This little
Yes.
dragon shield life counter
Hey,
thing.
Ravensburger, good idea for a
Awesome.
product. Make Lorcana pen and paper. Good deal. Good deal.
Yeah,
Lorcana.
pads are cheap.
I have an Ultra Guard life pad, and I love it. It's a little.
I do have that. Yeah,
it's
I have an
powered
Ultra
by a
Guard
little.
pad.
Yep, powered by a little watch battery. It's like a little Etch a Sketch. They're amazing.
Yeah, they come in
Dragon
medium
shield
size and in
Yep.
small sizes.
Yep.
What are they? $20, $10?
If that,
Cheap.
yeah.
Yeah.
The cheap one's like $9.99. The expensive one's like $17.99 or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to be bringing to Gen Con.
Yeah,
'cause
me too.
I don't trust dice right now.
No.
'cause people be like,
No.
"Whoopsie!" Like,
Yeah.
I've been playing Left Flesh and Blood. That pad
Yeah.
saves your life because it's like this
Yes, it
pad
does.
says you got 6 lore. Your dice says you got 8 lore. There's the
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
Call
There's a big
judge.
problem here. Yep.
That's what I recommend though for like your
Yeah.
first kind of like foray into it. But obviously, you're experienced
The
TCG
pad and
player.
paper
Like,
is good
it's
too.
the same everything that you bring to a tournament. Like, really can't go wrong
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
the
another
dragon
good
is
tip.
going to trust the paper.
Learn the lingo. If you're going to play in tournaments, know what people are saying. It's not their job to educate you. You need to educate yourself. So when people are talking about control, aggro, mid-range, whatever terms, if you're playing casually, it's fine. It's totally fair to ask questions. But if we're talking about general tournament practices and expectations, then if you're playing at a tournament, you need to know what's being said at that tournament. And it's, again, if you go, hey, what does that mean? They don't have to tell you a single thing. You need to know what's going on. Now, you can call a judge. You probably shouldn't if they're using lingo, but you can if you want to. But the reality is, don't get caught off guard because you're getting stat checked. Be in the know. Educate yourself. Talk to other people. There's a good point in chat. Ask questions. Again, casuals is the perfect time at your locals to ask questions. Hey, I heard this term. Hey, I hear this deck name is being slung around. I hear all these things. What do they mean? Have people around you help educate you, because when you're at the big leagues, we're playing to win, and we're not
Yep.
going to be mean about it.
No,
But if you're
we're
like,
not
what
going to
does
be
this
helpful
mean?
either.
I'm not going to. No, it is. Yeah.
Did
I'm
You
not
should
gonna
already
help
know that. You're here. You should already know that.
Yeah, one of the biggest. There's two things I will say. First is always bring extra snacks and water because you will need
Yep.
them. Because there's like
Yep.
you will be going back to back to back and not have time. Like there's always a lunch break during a tournament, but
Yep. But you don't want to go have to stand in.
sometimes
Regardless, you don't want to have to go stand in line for food at any
Yeah.
point.
Yeah. No.
if you can pull out like a bag, like Cheez-Its, like granola bars, like goldfish, stuff like that.
Jerky.
that you-
Any of that.
Bars.
Grab
Cliff
the
bars, yep.
dustiest of Cheetos, eat them during your playtime,
Yep.
and say,
No,
"Man,
no,
check your
no,
discard pile,"
no.
and you just lick. And let me check that discard pile.
God, no, don't.
It's
Don't.
all about
no.
mind games, people.
Yeah,
It's
right,
all about getting your
exactly.
opponent's mind.
Something I also recommend. This is just a personal thing. Everybody has different variations, but get the sets of the 12 millimeter D6s from ChessX to use as counters, and because in almost every TCG game. Every TCG game you need counters of some sort. Different games have different legalities as far as counters, but generally D6s are, as long as they're easily read, they're okay to use usually.
That was going to be my point: is make sure your dice are easily readable.
Make sure the pips and the dice have good contrast to
Yeah.
each other, please. I don't want to see any lime green yellow, please.
Yeah, like
If-
this is a
if
good
you look-
dice.
Yeah, if you look at a die and you're like, I wonder if this is readable, the answer is no. You instantly answer
yep,
your own question.
Yeah,
Yeah.
do a dark color and a light color. That's your best bet.
The last thing you want is a judge getting called over on technicalities. And that's something we will do. If you're breaking the rules,
Yep.
if you do something stupid, if you do something for disqualification, again, we're not going to be rude, but we're also not going to be nice. And if
Going
you
to seize
cheat,
the advantage.
Yeah.
if you draw 2 cards on your turn and you were supposed to draw 1, judge.
Yep.
And that's
Sorry.
unfortunate. Yep, it's you are your own worst enemy. So
Yeah.
practice, practice, not doing stupid things.
Get that muscle memory in there.
Get the muscle memory in. Play at your local game store where it's a safe environment, because you can make mistakes. People go, no, don't worry about it.
Yep.
Mentally note, hey, so I've seen this happen a lot. People like to do the Yu-Gi-Oh draw where they put their finger on the card and they draw, and they accidentally draw like an extra card and flip it up.
Don't do that.
Just very casually and slowly take the top card of the deck, put it face down on the playmat, so it's very clear you've drawn one card.
Yep.
Then look at it at your hand and add it to your hand. The best thing you can do is play methodically. If you're trying to be super fast or super cool or do some kind of sexy move, you're going to screw yourself over and you're going to get a match loss, and it's going to be like, what did I do? Well, you're trying to show off, or you got nervous, you got antsy. Just play methodically. You'll never lose a game by playing properly. It's when you start getting antsy, and I've seen so many people accidentally flip half their deck up, and it's like, well, we're in an irreversible game state. Judge, there's literally nothing we can do because we don't know what card you were going to draw. We don't know what cards in order they were. And it's a disqualification. I'm sorry, but
it is.
Yeah, one of those things is like, we're not trying to be rude. We're not trying to be mean, but
we'll take the advantage.
We're all trying to win here. Like, it's not like if I don't want to relate anything to sports, but like if someone's cheating in sports, a manager's gonna call them out. Like in the MLB, if someone's using a sticky substance to pitch, and it's been illegal for the past long time, like we will call it out.
Not even that. Like in a game of professional football, you step out of bounds, that's you. That's on you.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how good you are, I don't care who you are. You did that. You got to pay for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
again, we're really not trying to scare people. We're not trying to make it sound like we're monsters. But the reality is, if you do something that causes irreversible game state, or you cheat by accident, the actual rules in all competitive games are it is the responsibility of both players, you and your opponent, to keep the game state in a proper check. So if you cheat and I don't call you out on it, technically I'm also cheating alongside with you, which would leave me open and vulnerable to being disqualified as well. So as a good and smart player who doesn't want to get kicked out, if you do something illegal, I need to call it. Also, if I do something illegal, you need to call it. So it's a fair game, but the reality is if both players actively allow something to happen of that nature, both of us could get disqualified, you for doing it and me for being ignorant. So it all comes down to the reality of tournament play, high-level tournament play. If you do something that is cheating or illegal, you will get called out on it. So for people in this question of like, what should we do? How should we prepare? Sequence. Learn your sequencing. Learn your methodicalness. Learn how to play the game and not accidentally cheat.
Yeah.
You miss a draw. You miss a draw.
Not my problem. That's on you. Sorry.
Yeah, like going off what Sugi's been talking about. It's the classic adage of slow is smooth, smooth is fast.
Exactly.
Economy of motion.
Mm-hmm.
And so, he's talking about playing methodically. It's, if you're, like you said, antsy or rushing or anything like that, then you're actually causing yourself more issues. And so, get the practice in, and that's where it all starts. With anything competitive, it starts with practice. Mm-hmm. And so, get the practice in so that you can do everything you need to do in a methodical, slow, smooth manner and keep up your cadence without any issues. Now, this also brings up the other thing is when it comes to tournament playing, and we've talked about this a little bit, is the burden of knowledge is on you. So we've talked about, when it comes to, terminology and all these other different things, is like, sure, you can, read a card or something like that if you're not familiar with it, but you really should already be familiar with it. Like I know for most tournament scenes, that's already part of it is it's in the player expectations, is that you understand the cards. And so if you're sitting here having to read every single card, you're slowing down the game, and it's just going to cause problems for everybody. And so it's on you to know what it is that you need to know in order to be successful in the game.
Yeah.
I want to piggyback off that.
Slow down. You also tell your opponent to slow down too.
So here's something a lot of people, this is more of a nuanced thing. You cannot ask a judge how a card interaction will resolve.
Nope.
Never, ever ask your opponent, because they don't have to tell you the truth.
They can
should.
lie to you.
They should, but they cannot. They won't. Generally, they won't be penalized for lying. So if you don't know how something works, you're a little screwed because a judge can't tell you because that would be coaching, which is illegal. And you shouldn't ask your opponent because they don't have to tell you the truth, which it is frowned upon. But at the same point,
that's more of an ethics question at that point.
But again, the proof of burden is on you as the player to know what happens. So that's why we're recommending get reps in, because I've seen it happen a million times. Someone's new and they're like, if I play this, does this happen? And the judge is like, I can't tell you. And the opponent's like, yeah. And the person's like, okay. And they play it. And then the judge is like, that is not how that works. That's an illegal play. And the player who did it was like, well, this person said it. And they're like, yeah, they lied. They didn't have to tell you they don't have to tell you the truth at all. Mm-hmm. And so someone gets really upset because they feel like they were stabbed in the back. It sucks to watch because it happens all the time.
Yeah,
so
it creates a toxic game environment, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So
but it's better to just avoid that completely.
Yeah. It does bring up a really good question though, because you'll hear this a lot when it comes to people asking, this specific question is, if you're not sure, call a judge. So when is an appropriate time to call a judge?
If there's something happening you're uncomfortable with, if there is something your opponent has done that you feel is incorrect or illegal, not if you're having a bad game or, you feel like, this isn't fair, but like something that would cause an... I've seen people do that. They call a judge over and they're like, this guy's not being nice. He doesn't have to be.
Yeah, that's not part of the rules.
That's not part of the rules. Sorry. Suck it up.
You will find. I'm going to interject. You will find crappy opponents. It's in every card game. You will find people who look at you with disgust when you have You'll say hello. You'll put your hand out to shake their hand. They'll look at you. They'll say hi and just look back on their deck. You will find those players. And you also find the players that will shake your hand, that will talk to you as you're setting up for the game. But they'll always come, and you can't take it personally. You have
Also, Skeff.
you can't take it personally. You can't let some people's tactic could be to just be like that. So you just have to focus on your own game. Yeah, exactly.
Mind games.
I shake your hand and I say, I will break you.
Yeah, it's those mental gymnastics, dude. Yeah.
Get
inside your opponent's head, man. That's you can win some matches just off of that.
Yep. Many times.
Yeah.
I think to answer your question though. What? Go ahead.
I was just gonna make a joke. I said I could just see Skeff just shaking somebody's hand, just being like, "I hope you didn't park near me in the parking lot."
I haven't showered in 2 days. Oh my god!
His beard is just dripping from dripping in sweat.
So for learning about judges, go to your local game store, talk to your store owner or a local judge of a specific game, because the rules for judging are pretty universal across the board. So 99% of the time, if one judge says this is when you can call a judge, talk to a Magic judge. Hey, when should I call a judge? 1, 2, and 3. Then go talk to a Pokemon or Flesh and Blood judge. They're probably gonna say the same thing. It's pretty universal. But if your feelings are like, I don't like this person, tough beans. However, if it's like, they drew 2 cards or they played a card, I don't think that's how that works. Immediately stop, put your cards down, put your hands up, call a judge. Stop the game state immediately. If there's any kind of game state error or question, that's totally fine.
Don't let them pick it back up. Nothing like that.
Yeah, that's why you put your cards down, your hands up. Because at any moment, if you take some kind of action that adjusts the game state, now you've moved past a repairable game state. So now, of course, when I say that, don't be a jerk and do that frequently. When you're like, oh, I think my opponent might have done it. You do this 3 times in a game. It needs to be a rational, fair, and sensible time. So, for example,
most of the time, a judge will hit you for a time violation if you keep doing stuff like that anyway.
Yeah, or you'll get disqualified again, which is annoying. So, say opponent draws, you think they draw 1 too many cards. Totally valid. Put your cards down, put your hands up, judge. Watch your opponent, make sure they don't try and put that card back. Call the judge over, explain what happened, see what's going on. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like, what is it in football when you blow a timeout for a replay? You really only get challenge. Yeah. So you only get so many before a judge is gonna be like, "Hey man, you need to like stop. So use them wisely, but use them if you need to, not if you want to. There's a very fine line there.
Yeah. Bottom line is, if you know the interactions of your deck and the meta in general of what you're walking into, there are very few times where you're going to even need to call the judge for an interaction question.
Yeah, and any time that they're like, if you and your opponent can't agree on how something should interact, judge.
Yeah,
I'll judge. Also,
like, it doesn't work like that. Yes, it does. Nope. Judge time.
Judge it again. Cards down, hands up. Always put your hands up.
Yeah.
Always put your hands up, like you're being robbed. Put your hands in the air. Yeah.
And
this
don't
one,
put your hand in the ink pile.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah. Don't touch nothing. There is one time where I do think that if you feel uncomfortable or you're feeling like you're being bullied or someone is aggressive, verbal, racist, hateful.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Always immediately stop. Like, do not put up with that. There's a difference here, though. If you feel uncomfortable because they're beating your butt cheeks, or you feel uncomfortable because they've told you if you do this, they will punch you in the face. Those are two completely different interactions.
Yeah.
One is, I'm losing, I don't like this. One is, I feel threatened and unsafe. If at any point you feel threatened and unsafe for any reason, minus body odor, that doesn't count.
Yeah.
And I'm being
Doesn't
I'm
it
being
count
serious.
in Yu-Gi-Oh?
In Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh, it does count now.
Yeah,
but there are some people with like a sensitive nose, and they're like, I don't feel comfortable. That doesn't work.
No.
But if someone sits down and they're like, man, I can't believe I'm playing people like you. Whoa.
Like, whoa, hey. Pump the brakes on that one, buddy.
Call judge.
Yeah.
Talk
immediately.
To them. They probably won't be able to do anything at that point in time because they weren't there to hear it or see it. However, you can express your discomfort, you're feeling unsafe. Sometimes, not always, but they will do a repair, or the judge will stay close to keep an eye on you, so that way you're feeling safe. So again, safety is the most important thing. This is a trading card game. It's a hobby with cardboard. Your life and your safety is not worth a win or a loss. So at any point in time, if you're feeling uncomfortable, give them a holler. That's what they're there for.
Yeah.
Chat's got a good question. This is a really good one. Cypher 1000 says, this will be released in multiple languages. If someone sits across from you with cards from a different language, can you call a judge to require a standardized version of a card be present?
I believe
it varies from game to game.
I believe it's been told for this game any language is viable for this game.
Oh, that's good.
Well. Okay, hold on. We don't know what the tournament standards are.
Sure.
So in Pokemon, it's local. I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. So Pokemon's local.
Pokemon on regional, like internationals and worlds, any language is viable. Because
but if you're playing in the States, it has to be US.
Yes.
Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh, it's anything goes. But if you're playing in a certain region, you must have a translated version so your opponent knows what the card is and does.
Exactly. I'm pretty sure Bandai operates it's only whatever language is in said region. Because like you can't use Japanese cards in the American region, so on and so forth.
Right. So we have to wait and see what the tournament standards for Lorcana are, because it could be A or B. I'm assuming if you're playing in the US, you play with US cards.
Yeah.
That's a pretty safe assumption.
We would only really run into something like that at like really high level play with people jet setting between countries.
Which is,
I mean, Canada has might run into some issues with.
Oh, they do. They will have French printings, won't they?
Yeah, because they will have French as regional cards. Yeah.
Are we from Canada?
No.
He is.
Well,
wherever he is.
Ouch. That's rough, buddy.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye out and see how that goes. But at least for my area, I do play Digimon, and most everyone plays in English. So I think it's mainly really only in Quebec and over towards that area that they play mainly French, if any.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, the standard procedure as of Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon is if you see a card, you can't read it. You ask your opponent for a translated version. If they cannot produce said translated version, cards down, hands up, call a judge, and the judge will determine how to get you a translated version so you can understand what the card is doing and how the card interacts with your game state. Don't use the internet. Don't bust out your phone. Don't use third-party support. Either the person needs to have an official card translated, or the judge can provide some kind of translation for you. But
and also,
don't take that burden onto yourself, because
No.
then you're trying to.
You're helping them, essentially.
You're helping them. I was gonna say, Lee, you kind of understand where I'm going for here.
Absolutely, I get
Never,
it. The
burden.
burden of them using an extravagant item like that in their deck, that's on them, because it was ultimately their choice to do so. So,
Yep.
Yeah. So be safe. That's the biggest thing. This is a trading card game, and there are going to be people that are uber competitive and want to win. Yeah, there are always those people. I mean, I'm not trying to be mean, but I can go name a few of those. I'm not going to name drop, but I know those people. I know those type of people. But like you'll know those people, and like there will be people that are like that on your local scene. There will be people that are like that on the national and the world scene. So that's life. You have people in your workplace that you don't like working with, but you still go to work because that's where you work. And there are going to be people in your hobby that you don't like, but you still that's not going to cause you to like leave the hobby. So, but yeah, just play safe and be safe at any point when you're playing a TCG. That is the end of part 1. Part 2 will be coming very shortly. But for now, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and we will see you in the next one. Glimmer on.